In today's video, I'm going to talk to you all about the 11 stages of the sponsorship journey. Check it out. I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, 11 stages to the sponsorship journey. I thought sponsorship was just about putting together a sponsorship package and just sending it out to every company that has ever existed in the history of the world. Well, as it turns out, you're right. That's how most people do sponsorship, and that's why most people make absolutely no money in sponsorship. So if your goal is to send out sponsorship packages and get nothing in return, keep doing what you're doing. If, however, you want to actually bring in some sponsorship dollars, then follow these 11 steps. And if you get value from these videos and you want me to keep putting out free content like this, all you have to do is click the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update. If you want to thank me for producing these videos, that's all you need to do, and I will keep going. All right, let's dive into the 11 stages of the sponsorship journey. First things first, you want to identify your properties. What do we mean by sponsorship properties? I mean your sponsorship opportunity. So hey, I'd like some money because if you give me some money, I'll have money. That is not a sponsorship property. A property would be your event, would be your naming rights, would be your festival, could be an athlete. It could be your sports team or a jersey. The idea is that a property is ultimately your sponsorship opportunity. But sponsorship opportunity is not company gives you money, you have money, and now you can do what you'd like with it. Remember that sponsorship is a marketing discipline, and you have to link a brand's goals directly to a property in order for that brand to become a sponsor. So step one is to get super clear on what your sponsorship properties are before you go to market. Step two is to get super clear on your audience. You have to know who your audience is. People who like what you do is not your audience. Families, middle-class people, not your audience. Audience means you know 25 plus data points on those you interact with, whether they're your fans, your attendees, your followers, whether it's on social media or in a database. You have to have an audience, and it has to be defined before you can go to market. This is arguably the most important part of sponsorship, and unfortunately, the part that virtually everybody skips, which is why virtually everybody has no sponsorship. So if you want to look like everybody else and get no sponsorship dollars, have no audience data. If you are actually interested in playing the sponsorship game and bringing in revenue, you're going to have at least 25 data points on your audience. And then once you've got your audience data, you need to segment your audience and build out at least 3 avatars or buyer personas. You want to get crystal clear on who your macro audience is and who your micro audiences are. Give me money, I'll put a logo on a sign, and some people will probably see it, is a recipe for having a sponsorship proposal thrown directly in the garbage. Instead, you want to get clear on your properties and very clear on your audience. Next step is to build out all of the individual discrete assets you have to offer a sponsor. Giving me money so I have it is not a compelling argument for sponsorship, but giving me money in exchange for these high value assets, which yes, can include logo placement, but certainly sponsorship goes well beyond logo placement. Think of ways that you can get your audience to interact with the brand, consume their product, give up their email address or contact information. These are the highest value assets that you can offer. Getting internal buy-in from your team before you go to market is critical. I cannot count how many times I've had a deal blown up because I didn't do the necessary work internally and just assumed everybody was on the same page. I took it to the board, to my boss, to whoever it was who was a key stakeholder internally. That could be the marketing department, communications department. And while they aren't in a position to tell me what to do, they had the ability to say no and shut down the sponsorship opportunity. It happens a lot. Get internal buy-in first. Figure out what's acceptable, what you can do before you go out and talk to sponsors. Now, everybody thinks of sponsorship as a people game. It's a sales game. It's a marketing game. And all of that is true. But there's a highly technical component to sponsorship. And that technical component is called valuation. You must know what your opportunity is worth. You might get away with asking sponsors for money and them agreeing to send it to you for a little bit, but it will happen that a sponsor says to you, oh, hey, by the way, could you actually back up this valuation and the values that you've placed on these assets? The last thing you want is to be 3 meetings into a negotiation and have a sponsor say, can you prove this valuation, and have to admit to them that you completely made it up. And frankly, almost all of our clients who start to work with us, we perform a valuation and they say we have been badly undervaluing our assets for years, which means that they have left tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table simply by inventing their values. Sponsors know what your assets are worth. So if they're saying yes and not asking for a valuation, you are charging way too little. Once you know your audience, once you know your properties, once you know your value, once you know your assets, then you can start to research prospects. How do you research prospects? Is it just by printing out or downloading a list of all the Fortune 500 companies you can think of? Absolutely, positively not. Prospect research is based on audience. You're trying to find brands who want to connect with your audience, not brands who have money because you want money. If you're just reaching out to companies at random because they seem pretty big and they probably have some money, you will not be successful. Instead, research is based on your assets, your audience, and your valuation. And once you have done your prospect outreach, you are inviting prospects to do a proper discovery session. You're going to spend time getting to know them and their marketing goals. And then once you do, you're going to be able to offer them a custom proposal. So if you have been practicing the proposal first method, which is to say you're just sending strangers a request for money, this is going to seem like the exact opposite of what you're doing, which is good because what you're currently doing isn't working. And if you're considering using the proposal first method where you just make a gold, silver, bronze package and send it to every company, let me save you years of pain and heartache and unsuccessful sponsorship outreach. It doesn't work. So once you've done your discovery, then you're going to build a custom sponsorship package for each sponsor that you're going to work with. Then you're going to have another meeting to go over the custom proposal you've built so that you can close the deal and sign an agreement or contract with your sponsor. So that's it, right? You've closed the deal. You get to move on. That's it. Sponsorship done. Well, actually, there's one more step called fulfillment. You're actually going to do what you said you would do. You're going to fulfill, and you're going to provide a fulfillment report proving to your sponsors that you did everything you said you were going to do. And that is how you complete the 11-step sponsorship journey. This should sound radically different than the get a committee together to vote on what sponsorship package you should have, make up totally random values for gold, silver, bronze, and send it to companies, and then spend 9 months wondering why everyone is ignoring you. The reason you're being ignored, the reason it's not working, is because you didn't follow these 11 steps to sponsorship. I would love it if you could drop down in the comments your key takeaways. What's the one thing that really stood out to you that you're going to change right now? And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon, and give us a thumbs up. And remember, the sponsorship proposal doesn't make the sale. You do. Good luck out there.